Ruckus is sitting in the house, in the house. This sucker. Bro, the sunroof is open. You freaking douchebag. We're literally about to roll the pressure washer out there. Why do you always do things half-assed, bro? Gotta start calling this guy half-assed Braven. Ain't that right?
You mean fast Braven, right?
No, half-assed Braven. No, you know what? Half-fast Braven too. Excuse you? Useful with my life. Do something useful with my life. He says to the person that's about ready to wet sand and buff his carbon fiber hood. You know what? I think instead of wet sanding your carbon fiber hood, I think I'm gonna clean pops. Sucker wants to talk some shit. Shoot, screw that hood. I'm gonna work on my motorcycle. No, I'm just playing. Dude, I need to work on the E36 too. I need to work on the EP3 as well. I need to freaking get Gotham going. I need to get khaki done. I need to back to working on something for the DA, of course. Anyhow, guys, we got this thing all clear coated and it came out looking really freaking nice, dude. I'm telling you, that gun put this stuff down. Like, there is virtually no orange peel in this whatsoever, but there is some specks of dust here and there, so I mean, that is to be expected. This is just a janky backyard freaking booth that is literally sitting in a powdery ass dirt backyard in the middle of Phoenix, Arizona. What's up? Little specks of dust here and there isn't gonna hurt anything though, man. We are going to wet sand them out right now, get everything all nice and smoothened out, and then we'll buff it and make it look freaking beautiful. I don't record that shit. Yeah, whatever. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he said it's because I'm recording. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. Love ya. Alright, here we are again, man. Right back at this damn hood with wet sanding it once again. And starting off with 1200. The idea... Oh, that's probably not good. Oops. I just don't want to set the sandpaper on the ground. Stay there. So what I'm wanting to do is wet sand and get the little particles of dust and stuff out. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think I might go ahead and do another coat of clear on this. Because as you guys know, I forgot to clear coat this damn thing whenever we did his hood the first time. So I'm thinking I might go ahead and do another coat of clear. Reason being, that spot that we repaired, while it did come out really nice, like huge difference from what it was, there are some pinholes in it. Like little pinholes that I wish if I would have noticed before I clear coated, I literally could have just done kind of a heavy coat right there and then maybe went to the bottom side, like reach underneath and just tap it so that the clear coat would kind of get down inside of those little pinholes and it wouldn't be as noticeable as it is right now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong, the hood looks great and that doesn't really, it doesn't stand out terribly, but I do want it to be like, if we're gonna put in this amount of work on the car, I want everything to be as good as I can possibly get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't claim to be the best in the business, but I think I can do a little bit better than that. So the idea here is I'm gonna go ahead and wet sand it all down, get all the little dust particles and everything out, basically get it prepped and ready to go ahead and do another coat of clear over it once again. Hell, I ought to pull the hood off of khaki and put another fresh coat. No, I'm not gonna, not right now. guys, got the hood set back up inside of the booth. It's all wet sanded, dried, cleaned, everything is ready to go. I want to do a couple more coats of clear on this. Also got the rear little deck wing. I just hit this with like a Scotch, not a Scotch Brite, what is it called? You know what I'm talking about. I have one of those that goes on the Velcro sander. I hit that. So I mean, it doesn't look like I sanded it, but I did. Believe me, I did. But anyhow, gonna go ahead and start spraying, dude, because I have the clear coat already mixed up in my gun. I mixed up more than I did last time because honestly, when I clear coated this the first time, I kind of wanted to do one more coat, but I was like, dude, just send it. You're out of clear coat. You used it all. It looks fine. I should have went ahead and done another coat, mixed up some more clear, but it is what it is, man. Now we are here today to respray, and that's it. That's all. Just gonna get my mask on, get this done. Alright, so I've had a few comments about, well, a few comments saying that you'd be interested in seeing like a gun cleaning tutorial, I guess you could say. It's really not like a difficult process, man. First thing, like, I just got done using this gun. It still has the paint cup, everything on it. So from this point to clean, this is what it is that I do. Now, if you're using a PPS system like me, then this is the exact same as what you would do. If not, if you actually have the hard cup with the lid on top, basically you'd want to pop that lid off. You dump any paint that you didn't use into a cup or something, and then you basically pour some lacquer thinner in there, loosen up all the paint, and then dump that, and then you'd just remove that big cup. You'd unscrew that and then clean that cup really good. You know, use your lacquer thinner, dump it in there, wipe it out, use a rag, set that aside, then move on to the gun. But if you're using a PPS system like I do, you don't have to do all that. All you have to do is just hold your gun upside down, pull the trigger to release any paint that is inside of this chamber to go back into the cup, and then just pop it off. And that is the reason why I like using these. This PPS system is so much easier because that right there is my cleanup, bro. I pull this sleeve out and I throw it away. This hard cup that's all covered in overspray, obviously, is the only thing that you reuse. Another good thing about this is that cup that's inside. This thing right here, as you are painting, this thing collapses, right? So there's no reason for it to need an air hole in order to allow, you know, pressure relief. That cup collapses. So what's good about that is it's a sealed system, so while you're painting, like, if you lean your gun over too far, you don't have to worry about paint leaking out the top. Like, you can even spray upside down with this system without worrying about your paint dumping out, you know what I'm saying? So ever since I started using this when I worked for the sign shop, I've never went back, bro. I can't use a hard cup anymore. But now, moving on to the gun, we just removed our cup. First thing I like to do is take my squirt bottle, and this is just straight lacquer thinner. That is what I use to clean the gun out, is just straight lacquer. Go ahead and pour some lacquer thinner in, and then I like to take a thin brush. Don't pull the trigger yet at all. Then I go ahead and brush it out with the lacquer thinner. This is pulled up with lacquer thinner. Brush it out, and then I'll dump that. Now I'll go ahead and fill it up with lacquer thinner again, and then pull the trigger and run it through. In most cases, like, if you're about to use your spray gun, like, again right after this, that right there is good enough. But whenever you are done using your spray gun and you're about to put it away for the day, you want to go ahead and pop your air cap off. This front piece right here, this is your air cap. And then I have a cup full of lacquer thinner that I keep my brushes in. These are the main brushes that I use, a skinny one like this, and then this fan tipped one, I guess you can call it. To be straight up with you, I don't know what the name of these brushes are. Another thing that works really good is like a small paintbrush. Anyhow, I'll take this like fan tipped one and just scrub the inside. Go ahead and scrub the inside of the air cap, spin it around, and then flip it over, and I'll scrub the outside of it. Then use my bottle, dump that, and just kind of rinse it all off. I do all this on top of a rag too. There's actually a couple of rags here, so this kind of absorbs all the lacquer thinner that you're pouring out. And then I kind of pat that down, use my air nozzle, and I dry it. Now that piece is pretty much done. Moving on, I wipe the outside before removing the fluid nozzle. Just kind of brush it off, make sure there's no like overspray or paint on the outside. Now I'll go ahead and take my crescent wrench and I'll pop this fluid nozzle off of here. You want to pull the trigger back because right now the needle is actually sitting against the fluid nozzle, so if you pull the trigger back, it'll release that pressure and you can just spin this off really easily. Some guns have a seal right here, so you want to pay close attention. Like if we're like my Graco, if I was to take the fluid nozzle off the front, it has an actual plastic seal that comes off with it. That's kind of a thing that you'll see with cheaper guns. More expensive guns don't really have that. They kind of are just machined to where they parts seal against one another. So now with my fluid nozzle off, you want to be really careful not to drop your gun or anything on this needle, because that needle right there, you do not want to bend it or mess up the tip of it in any way, bro. So whenever this fluid nozzle is off, be very careful with your gun now. So with the fluid nozzle off, I'll take this skinny brush and I insert it into the fluid nozzle and then just kind of spin it around, but also it'll hold it. So with it holding it like that, I dip it into my cup of lacquer thinner and just kind of shake it around. Twirl the brush around, scrub it, use the other one and do the entire outside of it. Then use my bottle, run some clean lacquer thinner through it. Once again, blow it out with my air nozzle, dry it. Now moving on to the needle. The actual fluid adjustment on the back will unscrew and there's a spring on it, so you want to make sure not to lose it. Then pull your trigger back and you'll see the needle will stick out some more, so that you have enough room that you can grab it and slide it out. And then with the needle, all I do is basically use the rag that I'm working on top of, get it a little bit wet with the lacquer thinner and just rub any paint off of it. And that's finished, set it aside. Now with the actual chamber of the gun, you just want to dump some lacquer thinner in there. Use your brush, just kind of brush it out, make sure you get all the paint out of it. You can pour it through the top. You just kind of run a bunch of lacquer thinner through it, man, get it nice and clean. And then I go ahead and set the gun down on the rag and I'll use this brush with the lacquer thinner. Now, if you care about your gun, you don't want to use anything that has like an abrasive to it, like a Scotch-Brite pad or something. You don't want to use that on the outside of the gun like that and scratch it all up. And you really don't want to use it on the inside either, because it creates scratches and everything in there, and as you do that more and more, it makes it harder to clean the gun, and you'll notice that it doesn't perform as well. So I'll go over the entire gun with my brush, make sure to get behind the trigger. Notice a lot of people working in the paint shop, whenever they'd hire helpers and stuff, like they'd always forget behind here, like behind the trigger. You gotta get everything off. Once again, use my air nozzle and blow it dry. I blow the compressed air into the front, through the top, like everywhere. Try to get all the lacquer thinner, all the solvent out of the inside of the gun. You don't want to leave wet solvent in there for it to dry on its own, because what it does is it damages the surface. After a while of doing that, whenever you take your gun apart, you'll notice the inside of it isn't shiny anymore. You want to try to preserve that as long as you can, because I've noticed over the years of using guns, getting brand new guns and using them a lot, that whenever you do that and you kind of lose that shine from the inside, the gun doesn't perform as well. It doesn't atomize the paint, it doesn't move the volume of paint and air through it quite as well. So I try to keep the inside of it nice. And the way you do that that is you have to clean it after every single use, man. You want to clean the inside of the gun out. You don't want to just get lazy, set it down, and next time you come to use it, you have to literally scrub and scrape dried up paint out of the inside. Like, you ever get that into that situation, like you're damaging the inside of the gun. Now that it's all clean and we dried it all out of all the solvent, we can put it all back together. Starting with the needle, slid it in. I'm gonna go ahead and put the adjuster, screw that back onto the back. Make sure the spring is there. I always pull the trigger and I screw this in until it stops. Now I'll go ahead and screw the fluid nozzle back on. Remember, pull your trigger back so that it's not sitting against the nozzle, and then tighten it. You don't want to do this super tight, just snug. Just like that. Now I'll put the air cap back on. And then final touch, I like to take a dry rag and just rub all the fingerprints and stuff off of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. That's how I clean my spray gun. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, throw it in the comments down below. I know it's kind of just a really quick tutorial. Honestly, I'm kind of lacking in the gun cleaning department. Like, I have very few brushes and stuff left. There are some other brushes and stuff that you can get that make these kind of things a lot easier. And there's this isn't the type of bottle that I like to use either. This bottle I basically have for wetting rags, for wiping things down. But I've been using it for cleaning my spray gun because this is the only thing that I have right now. In the future, whenever I get the actual right spray bottle that I like using for cleaning the spray gun out, I'll show that to you and update it. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today, man. Got this thing finally clear coated and it came out freaking amazing. The hood looks a lot better. I don't want to get above it again, but that area where I had the little pinholes and stuff, I can tell actually got filled in this time. I went over it really heavy with the clear coat. So of course there'll be a little bit of wet sanding because I can see once again there's a little bit of dust and stuff in it. But once this is dry, then we'll wet sand it, buff it, and get it on the car, and it's gonna be freaking mint, bro. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Just to give you guys an update on Hannah. Hannah's doing well. The baby's doing well. They are still at the hospital. I still have yet to have met my grandson, but good news, they may be able to go home today, but I'm not gonna rush it, man. I'm gonna let her get home, get comfortable, because I'm sure she is beat ass tired, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I should be able to meet my grandson probably tomorrow, man. So definitely huge. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys for all your support and all the kind comments in the last video. Keep sharing your burnouts with me on Instagram, man. Make sure to tag me and throw up burnouts for Israel, hashtag burnouts for Israel, and I'll share them on my story. And then I'll also, whenever it's all said and done, I'm gonna share a compilation of them on the channel, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys doing that, man. It's really cool seeing everybody posting that stuff up on Instagram and seeing the hashtag burnouts for Israel. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, for real. DBFam is definitely strong, man, and I can feel it. Peace out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.